Hey, how's it going? So, yesterday, and actually over the last few days, I've been talking to different friends about different stuff, just catching up and that kind of stuff. A friend of mine is going to get married. And this friend who's going to get married, he invited me to his wedding, of course. I don't know if I'll make it or not, but he was kind enough to invite me. And he works in, I'm not going to say what specifically, but he knows a lot about the tech industry, specifically Facebook. And he was telling me something that fit in very interestingly with what I'd heard from some other people about Facebook. See, for those of you who don't know, over the last year, Facebook has lost 75% of its value, which is just wildly amusing. Because basically it's still generating money and profits, as it were, but its growth is way slowed down. Mm-hmm. And what happened was that, in late 2021, Google and Apple, as it was explained to me, they changed their rules insofar as information they would pass on to other users, specifically the demographic information, because the European Union has privacy laws such that they don't want European people's private information to be passed along willy-nilly. And the whole basis of Facebook was that it would, from Google and Apple, take the user data and use that to tailor and target its advertising. And so, for instance, with me, if I were to use Facebook, I don't use it at all, but if I were to use it, Facebook or Instagram or WhatsApp, it would target ads to me that were tailored to my interests and tastes. And of course, I Google search motorcycles all the time. It's like you look for porn, I look for motorcycle porn. And so, from Google, they would be able to know exactly what I look for, and they would previously sell this data to Facebook. And with that data, Facebook would be able to sell ads targeted to me. Now, being interested in motorcycles, especially custom motorcycles, is an extraordinarily niche business. So, of course, if some motorcycle customizer would be able to buy ads on Facebook that would only target people like me, then it would be worthwhile. But now that Google and Apple are both not passing that information on to Facebook, Facebook can't sell those targeted ads. And that was the beginning of the end of their advertising revenue. And that was the start of the collapse in the price of Facebook. And there's some other interesting news that when the need to have data storage facilities arose, Amazon, Microsoft, and I do believe Apple, they sold storage by way of their different cloud services. They sold that storage to customers, and that created a tidy little revenue stream, a quite enormous revenue stream, as a matter of fact, insofar as AWS, Amazon Web Services, that makes up something like a third of their profits, I believe, or something along those lines. Not over half, but more than a quarter. Say a third. So it was a great business. The only other big tech company that had such ability was Facebook. But Facebook, under Zuckerberg's direction, focused exclusively on ads, not selling web services. And so they denied themselves that revenue stream. And by the time they figured out they made a mistake, it was too late. The other big players had taken over the market. Now, the other third factor, insofar as Facebook's declining fortunes, is this metaverse nonsense. Now, I heard from some other people that the metaverse was something very big in the World Economic Forum. Because, I kid you not, a lot of the big brains at the World Economic Forum thought that because the West is over-indebted and people's standards of living will inevitably decline, that a way to distract the population and ensure that they would be nice, passive little robots was to create an alternate universe. Basically, making Ready Player One, make it real, okay? So that people would lose their minds and spend all of their time in this fictitious virtual world so as to distract from the misery of real life, okay? And so a lot of WEF types were pushing for the metaverse. And what's really interesting is that I got confirmation that a lot of corporate consulting firms and all the rest of it were pushing the metaverse, something awful. But of course, no people are not interested in the metaverse at all. I mean, there are a lot of people who are mixed up in it because they figure that it's the next thing. Like crypto was the last thing, the metaverse is the next thing. And they are actually investing quite a bit of money into the metaverse. But see, people are not going there. Nobody wants to really live a virtual life. Most people, thank God, still prefer real life, the here and now, actual people, actual places, and not virtual people and virtual places and crap like that. And so it's because of these three factors. You know, the no longer being able to target ads, their failure insofar as going after web services, and all the money that they've invested in the metaverse, because they've invested a whole boatload of cash into that particular project. Not just money, but also resources of Facebook. Well, because of all this, Facebook is going down the tubes. And the word is that Mark Zuckerberg is not long for this earth in corporate life. I mean, not real life. I'm sure he's going to live a long and healthy life. But insofar as his position at Facebook, investors are pissed off. Pissed off something awful. And so I just have to say that, you know, Zuckerberg, I've always kind of despised him. He really did look like a robot. He acted like a robot. When he was a young guy, he seemed normal. You know, geeky, but normal. But he became this weird lizard robot person. And apparently this whole metaverse thing was part and parcel of the World Economic Forum and the controlled demolition of the Western economies. It was going to be the place where everybody could sort of like ease their pain in the virtual world. Sorry I recorded this like on a potato. The light is dying as I started recording this, and I don't have the patience to record it again. But I thought that you should know, you know, the more you learn,